Hello, frenzies, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Two Wacky Teacherpreneurs Tell All. Me and my buddy Amanda are here today to talk all about, I wanted to tell Amanda about issues, like current issues going on in Teachers Pay Teachers land, because I think I'm a little more involved in like Facebook and Facebook groups than she is. And I thought it'd be just kind of fun to like tell her about some things going on. So there is a big Facebook group called Wallflowers. Wallflowers TpT. You can find it. And this is where there's about 5 or 6 thousand Teachers Pay Teachers sellers that hang out there. And it's a lot of the OG sellers, like people that started when me and Amanda did over 10 years ago. But it's kind of like when Teachers Pay Teachers like first started, they had this place called the forums on the website. And you could go to the forums, and if you were having a problem, you could ask people on the forums, hey, I'm having a problem with my store, or how do I sell more of this product, or what's wrong with my cover? And people would answer, but like over the years, the forums have dwindled, and I guess they still exist, but nobody's talking on there. Everyone's talking in Facebook groups, and there's a million really good ones, but I just went to Wallflowers to see what was happening this week. And I was actually going to pull it up on my phone really quick because people are having, there's some similar, it's called Wallflowers TPT Think Tank, and there are 5,700 members. And yeah, I thought I'd tell Amanda, like, Amanda, are you ready to hear about? Like, I thought we just do one. We're not going to do like 5 minutes, 5 minutes. Let's just do one problem at a time. And you could just kind of like tell me some of your thoughts on these problems. I'll tell you some of mine, but I'll just tell you what's happening right now.
Yeah, let's get started.
All right. So the very first one, somebody came in and said, and this is one of the most hotly debated topics right now. um, is controversial political stuff allowed on Teachers Pay Teachers? I'm just curious because I just saw a TikTok with a parent showing a Charlie Kirk worksheet. They were outraged that had been sent home with their child and it was bought on Teachers Pay Teachers. And so this is what happens a lot on Teachers Pay Teachers is it's a bit of a I I hate to call it like a vulture type environment, but people are always looking for trends and ways to make money. And I myself have been guilty of this, where there's been like a celebrity that dies, and then I have gone and made a product on it. And then I felt guilty later on. And I took the product down, right? Like a president dies, right? And they go and make a product about the president who dies. Or there's a new president elected, which I don't think is that horrible to make a product about. Some people do, depending on their political ideologies. But I don't know, like what should the line be? I mean, one thing I was thinking about this is like Teachers Pay Teachers is a lot of public school teachers are on there, but there's also a lot of homeschool teachers. And homeschool teachers come from a variety of different political belief systems and religious belief systems. And so there are religious products on Teachers Pay Teachers. It's for all teachers, homeschool teachers, private school teachers, wackadoo teachers that teach underground, right? And so, like, I don't know, like, should there be rules? Like, one, my first question is, should there be ethical rules about what topics could be sold on Teachers Pay Teachers? Should there be some sort of regulation on that? And two, um, just like what are your thoughts on jumping on a trend, like a political trend, or jumping off the back of a funeral to make money on Teachers Pay Teachers? Do you think that's ethical, or like what are your thoughts on this?
Oh my goodness, I have so many thoughts. And as you were talking, I went and looked on Teachers Pay Teachers. I just searched Charlie Kirk, and I'm like, whoa, oh my goodness, like how many pages of products? There's 2 pages of products where his name pops up. Um, and some of them I'm like, is this a real store or is this an AI store? Because I know that's another topic that I'm like, is this real? And so, okay, I'm a Democrat, okay? And I mean, I have a lot of like opinions about, I think what happened to him was just terrible and tragic and wrong. Um, and I'm not a big fan of him, like, and the things that he promoted. And uh, uh, but but do I think that there should be rules about like what teachers, sellers are creating resources for? Like, I don't like, do I think it's wrong that there are products about him on Teachers Pay Teachers? I don't know, Jess. I really don't. Because you're right. There are so many different types of teachers out there. There are people using these things for homeschool. I'm homeschooling my kid. And like, if I am a homeschool parent that's like a Republican and really like believe in martyring him, this might be helpful for me. Do you know what I mean? So like I'm really trying to be respectful of all different viewpoints and opinions and like AI chatbots, like that's a big phenomenon that's happening and all sorts of teachers are creating products about that. Like, do we have to cut that off? Like, I don't know. But you did ask the question, like this guy just died. Like he just died and people are making money selling products about him. I don't know. And honestly, like sometimes I feel like people, pay teacher sellers, they don't make products to make money. They make products because they care about the content of that product. Do you know what I mean? So like they care about whoever made these, I'm assuming. They're not doing it to make money. They're doing it because they want to promote their worldview. Do you know what I mean? And that he's a hero. And, or maybe they want to do it to stimulate debate within their classroom, but is this too soon? Do you know what I mean? To kind of stimulate that kind of debate? Probably. I don't know. Those are just like my initial thoughts. What do you think about all that?
I mean, I don't know. I think it's very sweet that you think that people are coming from a good place. I'd like to believe that, but I do think there are some people on Teachers Pay Teachers not coming from a good place and trying to make lots of money, which is going to bring me into my next topic. So there are these things now called spam stores, and they're selling like the craziest things. I don't know if you've seen any. There's a spam store that has 50,000 products and it's all created through AI. And one thing that they do is like, I've noticed this myself, is they take a font, right? They upload a font and they sell one letter of the font as a poster. Like the letter A is this font and they're selling it as a poster. And then the next product is the letter B as a poster. And the next product is the letter C as a poster. And they have thousands of fonts uploaded. And it's just, I don't know, like this is a really big problem right now are these spam stores on Teachers Pay Teachers. So I'm just wondering, have you heard of have you heard of these spam stores creating tens of thousands of products? And do you think it is a problem? Like for me, I'm like, but is anyone buying the products? But I'm wondering about the storage on the TpT side. If there's all these stores uploading 50,000 products at a time, is that creating like the products are being stored on a server? So is that creating problems for the TpT servers somehow that are they're storing all of these products on there? Do you know what I mean? Like I have a lot of questions about this, and I was just wondering, like, what you think. A lot of people think that when TPT sees a store like this, they should take it down. But then a lot of people are like, well, if somebody thought of that idea to make money, they should be allowed to make the money, even if it seems like not what TPT is supposed to be about. So what are your thoughts?
Well, do you have the name of a spam store? Like I'm trying to search what? I mean, you've definitely told me
Yeah,
about this, but
one
I've
of
never
them's
seen
called,
one.
yeah, let me tell you one. This one has 100,000 resources. It's called Swati Sharma, Swati, and then Sharma. And it's in they only have they do have 2,100 reviews, 600 followers, but if you go in, apparently the whole store, they have 99,000 TpT products, and they're all created with AI. Are you in the store?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. How do you know they're all created by AI?
I mean, I think if you look at them, you can kind of tell the quality is like really, really low. And again, it's these ABC um, ideas where they're selling like sets of ABC. And I don't know. I mean, like, just look at the products. So many of them are like word searches, which is pretty easy to generate on AI, you know? Um, I don't know, like look at the product, look at the quality of the products. How did they create 100,000 products?
Okay, here's something I found. There was a comment made on a product. It's uh, four products: fall, Halloween, Thanksgiving art activity bundle coloring pages. And someone commented in 2019, Jess.
Yeah.
So is this a store that existed before chat
I don't
bots?
know how many products they've had, but like somebody is saying that like there's no way they could actually create 100,000 products.
I wonder if this is a person who had a store and was creating their own products at first, but now are really utilizing AI to like
Maybe.
just put out lots of
Yeah.
like be hype, like just, yeah. I mean,
What do you think? Like, should I mean that 100,000 products?
I don't know, Jess. Like I don't know. Like it does
I
seem
don't
like
either.
when I'm looking at this store though, that it wasn't just created within the last few years. Like it's existed for longer than
Yeah.
chat bots. And so I'm just thinking this is probably a real teacherpreneur, but they're
Someone called it a there was a probably a team of people working on this, like almost like a sweatshop. And there's an AI, they called it an AI conveyor of rubbish.
mm,
What do you think?
yeah, I don't know, $5.40 for the letter H. It's a
Yeah.
bulletin board H.
Yeah. It's
That's
weird, right?
expensive.
It's weird. It's just very, very weird. Anyway, this is something that is happening. And now the other thing that's happening, Amanda, is that not only are these fake stores popping up, well, I mean, this one could just be they're using AI to create a bunch of junk, right?
Hmm.
But there's stores that are just buying people's products, putting them in a new store and selling them as is. They're just stealing people's products. And apparently there's a bunch of stores popping up like this that they buy like there was a person on here that said somebody came and bought all of my products like individually on all separate transactions. It was the same person. Like, should I be worried that they're now going to upload my products to a fake store? And it's been happening to some of my buddies too. They've been finding their products in these stores. So I don't know. There's so much going on right now. Like some people, I guess there's a thought right now is TPT becoming kind of junky, right? Where there's stores with hundreds of thousands of products selling the letter H for $5. There's AI generated like AI is not only like generating these cheap worksheets, but now also people are just stealing other people's products and putting them in new stores, right? And so like I don't know, Like, what is the, like, is it still, I mean, I feel like looking at my sales, it's still worth being a part of this, right? But I see the frustration of people who have quit their jobs and now their sales have gone down 30 or 40%. And they're trying to figure out, who do I blame? Do I blame AI? Do I blame school districts? Like, what is happening right now? Is there really legitimately, like, me and Amanda have always just kind of done this for fun? We haven't, like, ever, I don't think, been like, oh, we're going to replace our teaching income with this. We've wanted to, we've talked about it, but we've never done it. But a lot of people have done it. And now those people that have quit teaching and they were making what they used to make as a teacher, their sales are going down so low that they're thinking about going back to teaching, going back to other jobs,
That's so
and
sad.
they can't figure out what it is. Is it because of TpT being flooded with these fake products? Are there products being stolen and stolen cheaper or sold cheaper somewhere else? Or is it just like school districts and the overall economy right now? Like, people just aren't buying these. And I think it's important for us to think about this as teacherpreneurs. Like, we want to get people excited about building their TpT stores and working on things, but like, is it still worth it, do you think?
Well, I feel like this is making me think about that interview that I sent you and you listened to on the daily about
Yeah,
kids who they were basically marketed in elementary and middle school that coding, like code.org and hour of coding and all of these things, this hype around being a coder, and that's like your golden ticket to a successful life. And now there's like hundreds of thousands of college graduates that like majored in this that can't get a job. And it just all of this, the just all the things that are changing in our world are changing at such a fast pace that teacherpreneurs like and everyone really, but like just thinking about from the point of view of a teacherpreneur, it's so overwhelming to figure out like our next steps because things are changing so fast. Do you know what I mean? Like it's really hard, like to constantly have to pivot and like, okay, this changed. So now I need to like jump on, like this new trend or whatever. Or I need to like protect myself from my like copyrighted material being stolen. I don't know. Like a lot of my stuff is editable. So like I give access to like editable. And I've never, something you said in a previous episode, like when you get too big, you switch to a new thing because you're just too introverted and you don't want that many people paying attention to you. I mean, that's kind of how I've always been, like if I don't want to get so big and become like a millionaire on Teachers Pay Teachers, because if that happens, people are more likely going to like know about me and steal my stuff. Do you know what I mean? And so like I just feel like that's part of getting big, which is really sad. But it's
yeah.
like that's like fame comes with, downsides,
One
right?
thing that show that you, the Daily, it's the New York Times does a little podcast every day called The Daily, and that episode was really interesting. Is there was a lot of people that had studied computer science that are kind of like pivoting a little bit, and I think for teachers pay teachers, one thing I would do or think about is it was another article I read about how, like, what does AI really mean to everyone right now? Well, there's still something lacking with AI that they can't really fill in the gaps for, and that's having like a personal, like face-to-face connection with someone. And I suppose someday these AI chatbots could have human form in
They
some way.
do. They already
Yeah,
do. There's like
yeah.
podcasts. There is a, didn't you tell me this? That there's a famous AI bot that's like getting approached by like Hollywood companies
I
to
don't
like,
remember.
because no one knows they're fake, it's like a fame. Oh my gosh, we
Oh
gotta,
no, you know what? Well, I have shared this. Okay, so there's this is video series of this crabby old lady in New York City, and she wears like all hot pink all the time, and she does these like matter of fact videos about like finding a man and not settling for someone who's poor, and she does all this stuff, and they're saying she's a bot. She's not real.
Yeah.
She's fake.
Yeah, but people don't realize it because
People
it's
think
so
she's
believable.
real, and she gets invited on talk shows, and
Yes.
yeah, she's
So
not
that's already
actually a real
happening.
person. Yeah. Well, what they're saying is people still are going to crave authentic people to have conversations with. Like, even though people are having conversations with chat bots now, like, people still need a sense of community and belonging. And there's not a sense of community and belonging in AI
Yeah.
yet.
Well,
And
we're
so they're saying that, like, what I was thinking of for Teachers Pay Teachers is like a lot of this news is kind of discouraging, but I think that people could still be carving a niche out for themselves and connecting with teachers who do want that face-to-face interaction. Like, they want to see a real person with real experience, like giving them advice and help. And just yesterday on my social media, I'm actually doing a little project with a mutual friend of ours now, Jen Chico. We're working on a little project together. You remember Jen Chico, right?
yeah, of
So I
course.
went to New Zealand with her, and she's no longer a teacher, but she does things like breath work, and she works on all kinds of really cool things. Right now, she's trying to help teens with self-confidence issues. And anyway, I'm working on a little project, and I asked teachers, I'm like, what are you like, what's really bothering you right now? Like, what are you struggling with in the classroom? And I did have like about 70 people reach out and send me direct messages. 70 people wanted to talk to me about their problems, And so, like, that is something to keep in mind, that even with the age of ChatGPT, they could be typing these problems into ChatGPT and getting maybe even better answers than I could give them, but they wanted answers from me. And so that was kind of humbling a little bit. Like, that teachers still, even though these bots exist, that there are still people out there that want a connection to someone real
Well,
who's
and
going through what they're going through.
here's another thing that I think a lot of people need to realize right now, like, because everyone keeps AI, artificial intelligence. I have this article. AI is not intelligent. It's not. It's very basic and simplistic. And there's this article on wired.com. I'll put a link to it. OpenAI's Sora is plagued by sexist, racist, and ableist biases. So, like, if you ask it to describe like a disabled person, the only idea it has of what a disabled person is someone in a wheelchair, right? Like, it has no like concept of like the nuances that human brains have, right? It is not as intelligent as we give it credit for, or as all of these CEOs of these AI companies and are saying it is, right? Or saying that it will be. We don't know if it actually will be. I don't think it will. Like, my personal opinion is I don't think it will ever be smarter than we are. It's not going to take over the world. I think that's ridiculous. That's sci-fi, okay? Um, and like this article is like really shocking. I'm going to put a link to it. But like looking at these AI created TpT stores, even you're saying like this is so simplistic. Like, who would buy this? Right. And so I think that we can kind of lean on that that this isn't as smart as, and it doesn't do like, oh yeah, it can create a PDF. Oh yeah, it can create a slideshow. Sometimes I've asked it to create a PDF for me and it's just blank. And I'm like, hello, you didn't even put anything in here. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry, let me do it again. And then it's like
Yeah, me
super
too.
basic and simple. And I'm like, this is not that helpful, you know? But the whole problem of people's content being stolen, I don't know the answer to that. Like, I think that's so messed up. And I just think there
Yeah.
should be more regulation, especially on the part of like TpT, like the company. Like, can't they kind of suss this stuff out better? I don't know.
People have been complaining about that. I'll tell you two of the fake stores so our listeners will know and you can look them up too. Like these are the stores that are stealing people's products and putting them in their stores.
Okay.
One of the stores, and I don't know, this was 2 days ago. Let's see if they're still open. The first store is called Smarty Files, Smarty with a Y, Files. Oh, it's gone. Okay, so they got rid of it. That was one that got reported. And
That's exciting.
the
Thank you,
second
TpT.
the second store was called Little Lessons, LIL Lessons. It's also deleted. So those are two stores that people found their stolen products in. Both stores, that was 2 days ago, 48 hours ago. People said these two stores are full of stolen resources. Both stores have been deleted. Um, but somebody said on here, even though Teachers Pay Teachers took them down, it would be wise for you to do a reverse image search on Google and see if you can find them elsewhere. Keep in mind that the moment these scammers have your resources, they will pop back up in another form and try to sell it again. So, I
So
mean, just
wait,
because they get deleted, it doesn't mean, um, and then this is the
they're not somewhere else.
kindergarten smorgasbord, Greg Smedley Warren said um, that he had a product that 100 scammers sold, and they had to hire lawyers to have them all
Oh,
taken down.
wow.
And the social media platforms won't do anything. So, like, if they're selling it through TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, the social media platforms won't take it down. TpT will, but you still have to go out and, especially if you have a product that makes your store, like they say that everyone has a product like that your top five resources are make up 80% of your profits or something like that, right? So I guess like if you are a TPT person out there, a seller listening to this, take a look at those top five products, maybe do a Google search for them, a reverse image search for them, just make sure that they're not being sold elsewhere because that could be taking a little bit of your profits away if it
Can you
is.
can you explain what a reversed image search is? I have no idea what you mean when you say that. What's a reverse image search?
It's where you can upload a picture of your product and it'll show you every website that that product is on. And if you just
Wow.
go reverse image search, there's one called Tin Eye, and then you can also do it on Google Images, I think. And if you just search reverse Google or reverse image search, a whole bunch come up. I've used the Tin Eye before, TINI.com. You can just upload a picture. And like, here's where I use it. Um, Sometimes I see something I like and I take a screenshot and it sells out and I want to find out where could I find that again? It'll give me another website with it, right? Or I'm trying to figure out like the name of a place or something and I only have a piece of that place and it'll find it for me. I don't know. I use it for really nerdy things. I haven't used it for Teachers Pay Teachers, but or I want to find like one time someone was asking me about these curtains and I had seen them in wallpaper form. And so I uploaded a picture of my curtains to see if it was in wallpaper form anywhere. And sure enough, it showed me different websites that it was used as wallpaper and where to buy the wallpaper, right? Like you can do a lot of weird stuff with it. I use it mainly for consumer purposes, but I'm just saying you could also use it for your business,
I've
okay?
never
Tin
heard of that
Eye. Oh
website.
yeah.
Okay, I
You
wrote it
you should
down.
Amanda, you should upload your number one selling product, just the cover,
Mhm.
into that and just see where it pops up. Is it just Teachers Pay Teachers or are you being sold on the black market?
Yeah, I know. I really want. And so to find out what your number one product is, um, you would, well, where I'm like in my TPT dashboard, would you go to product statistics or would you go to sales reports? Like, where would you find your top?
Well, I think you can go right to your store and search by best-selling product.
Oh,
Um,
just go to your store and then whatever comes up first is your best selling one.
if that's how your store is organized.
Yeah, it
Everyone's
is.
different. Yeah. So
Okay.
yours is your poetry.
Unit.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
could take that picture and just see, is anyone stealing that right now?
Which is
Stealing.
interesting because it used to be my government simulation,
Yeah.
but that's second now.
Nobody wants to simulate the government right now.
Oh my gosh, that's a good place to end, I think.
Yes, I think this was a good episode, don't you?
Yes, it was great.
Okay. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone.